everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notify button so you know when you're getting new episodes. And we just want to grow this project. I thank you in advance. Without further ado, let's get it rolling. The Shout Out Show. Hey, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. What's going on, everybody? This is your brother, Preacher Moss, the host of the Shout Out Show, the SOS. I want to tell everybody this is a breakout Tuesday for me. I gotta do some production, and it was just good to get out of the house and see other people and get back to a little bit of normalcy, if you will. We've all been cooped up. We've all been social distancing. Some of them been social isolating. Some of them have been antisocial. All those things matter when you're dealing with trying to take care of yourself. You know, yesterday I talked a little bit about the school situation. I hope you guys understand that it was in the best of intentions of what I was talking about, because I think we need to understand before this thing gets any further that parents and teachers are actually on the same side. Excuse me. My purpose of the telecast yesterday was to make sure and remind them that we're on the same side. Because if we fight each other, and we listen to politicians, and what happens is the only winner that's going to be out there after this thing settles is going to be COVID-19. So that's number one. Number two is I want to give a shout out to everybody who just turned into the show today. I want to give you a welcome, a hearty welcome if you is, a robust welcome if I can do that for you. This is the Shout Out Show. We've been here since the beginning of Ramadan. This is episode number 117 in a row, brothers and sisters. And that doesn't happen because it's me. It happened because of you. All right? And I got to give a shout out to the OGs, the veterans of the Shout Out Show. Mama Son Moss, Sister Eleanor, Ree, Sister Zaid, Sister Ika. We got a whole lot of people. Sister Satana. You know, these are the people, ironically, that over a period of time, they make this show a success because they keep me grounded. Now, brothers and sisters, you guys know the topic. The topic today is why Michelle Obama is a boss. Let me explain boss to you. Okay, let me give Sister Santiago. Hope you're feeling better. Hope your back is healing on the mend. She's out there in Dallas. Everybody, keep bringing your du'as, everyone. But the name of the show is Why is Michelle Obama a boss? Now, let me tell you something about a boss. First of all, a boss is somebody that has a level of power, a level of prestige, but still has a level of accessibility. When I say accessibility, it means that power, fatigue, that power, prestige, fame, if you will, it doesn't limit them from working with the people who engage with them. So she's a boss. The other thing about being a boss is not afraid to speak truth to power. Which means that you don't have to have a bunch of money. You ain't got to have 50 million likes on your Instagram. You have to have a certain moral center, if you will, that looks things in the eye and says, this is right or this is wrong, and these are the reasons why. Last night, Michelle Obama went on television, and she did something historic, brothers and sisters. She did something historic. Let me give it. Sister Reed, thank you for coming on the show. We all on here today. It's going to be a good Tuesday, everybody. But Michelle Obama gave America and the world something they've been waiting to see for quite a long time. She gave a takedown of not somebody who's sitting in power, but a takedown of somebody who is abusing power. Let me say it again. A takedown of somebody who is abusing power. And what she took me back to was those Sunday morning Sunday morning church meetings, and those Sunday evening dinners that you used to have with your family. You sit around the table and you talk about right and wrong. You rehearse what you're supposed to do when you see something right. You rehearse when you see something being done to somebody else. And she flipped this thing. Because the worst thing that can happen if you're a wannabe boss is when a real boss calls you out. And so in this situation, a real boss called out a fake boss. And people are going to preach, what do you mean? A fake boss. Brothers and sisters, she did it without cussing. She did it without name calling. She ain't call out nobody's mama. She ain't calling out their name. She went line item by line item by line item by line item by line item. And I'm here to tell you, brothers and sisters, it was masterful. It was church. When I say church, it means that what's coming out of the speaker's mouth, it doesn't resonate with you because it has an emotional connection. It resonates with you because you have an intellectual connection, if you will. You have a esprit de corps that moves beyond who's right or who's wrong, as opposed to what's relevant. And I enjoyed it. Let me give a shout out here. Somebody said hydrate. Okay, maybe I need to. Yeah, we'll see. But let me give you something that made my heart feel good. Michelle Obama talked to the president and talked to the world in a tone, if you will, that said, I'm concerned about you. Can you dig that? She spoke in a term that said, I'm concerned about you. I'm concerned about the people being affected. I'm concerned about the people you're affecting. I'm concerned about you as an individual. This woman in this takedown, brothers and sisters, gave a prescription for the president to heal himself and reminded him in many regards that you can't do it. This prescription is something you should have had long ago. Everybody watching this broadcast knows that one time you act up and when people say, I'm going to go tell your mama, it's not that they're going to tell your mama what they did. They reminded your mama that, listen, whatever you taught him, I'm not seeing that now. Whatever you instilled upon their heart in terms of core values, we're not seeing it. We're telling you that because we don't want this situation to get out beyond our little space right here. We don't want this situation to be public knowledge. So mama's going to talk to mamas. Now, let me engage this piece right here. When a black woman, particularly an older black woman, I'm going to say over 45, is talking to you and she does this, let me show it to you again. It means you done messed up. It means that the goodwill is run out on you. It means that there's probably been a coalition of other black women, other Latino women, other disgruntled women about your behavior. And those women carry weight because they lead families. If this were any other election, Michelle Obama could run for president and she'd win it running away. But she doesn't do that because she don't want to be president. She understands her position. Her position is that she's a boss. And being a boss, she's able to affect people in positive ways in which a president cannot even do it, including her own husband at the time. So my words here shouldn't be lost. And neither should her words. I literally was going to show part of her speech, but my challenge to you, my call to action is to go listen to her speech without any interruption. Close yourself off in a room and listen to the power of womanhood and listen to the power of motherhood. You see, Donald Trump messed around with the wrong lady. She messed around with a woman who was raised by a woman, who was raised by a group of women, that they don't take that foolishness. The only reason he can get away with it is because he's the president and the people around him are far less than soft. They are soaked. They are moist. Moist men, moist followers, moist supporters. Now, let me give you this game here, brothers and sisters, about Michelle Obama. You probably know it, but it's important to share this. Mama logic in the history of man has never lost. Let me say it again. Mom logic, remotely applied, lightly applied, has never lost in the history of mankind. It doesn't matter where you are, what you do, who you are, all of us got a mama. Now, I'm not talking about the quality mom, good, bad, but you all have a mama. And even if your mama wasn't great, there's always models around of mothers who are exceptional. And so you saw not an exceptional black woman, because she's an exceptional black woman, but you saw a prescription of how this election is going to go. And the argument about the logic of re-electing this man will be a question held at a round table, brothers and sisters, and it will be devoid of men this time. Men will not be invited. Let me say something right here and now. The reason why Donald Trump won last time is men voted for him. I'm not talking white conservative men, we know that. Scared Republican men, we know that. There were black men and Muslim men that voted for Donald Trump because they couldn't fathom a woman leading the country. Now, let's be honest. I'm going to be honest. Hillary Clinton didn't check a whole lot of boxes for me. She did not. She was in the space. I felt like she didn't do her homework. She didn't hustle hard enough. I felt like she ran thinking that somebody owed her something. Somehow that this thing was in succession for her. No. Even last night, in the most kindest way, even Hillary Clinton got spanked last night. And the reason she got spanked last night was because she couldn't make the connection that this woman made in less than 19 minutes. You see, it's a very, very simple thing. You take right and you take wrong. Now, you can't fully disregard wrong. Wrong lets you know what's right. But the smart thing is, whatever's right, you make it more consistently right. Whatever's wrong, you make it consistently moving towards right. That's what her talk was about. When a woman, I say a righteous woman. Now, you can say whatever you want to about righteous, whoever you think, in your circle. All of us have a righteous woman in our circle who can always set us straight, who can always give us a recalibration of our compasses, our moral compasses, if you will. She said this last night, and in a very kind way, but a direct way. She said that your compass is broken, but she didn't just speak to Donald Trump. That was the magic. She spoke past Donald Trump. She spoke around Donald Trump. To all the people that have been hiding and shivering in his shadow, she brought a clarity that you could not deny, number one, and number two, you couldn't hide from. Even in some of that, talking about voting, she took the history, flipped it, and said, let's not reproduce this history again. Now, there was some chirping back from Donald Trump. If I was a judge on chirping on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, he might have registered a 2. Because somebody, I don't know who, somebody in that White House cabinet said, man, leave that black lady alone. Leave her alone. Because I'm going to tell you something. And you can agree or not agree. That per se was one of the best speeches that I've heard in this long, long time. In many regards, it usurped Barack Obama because it was Michelle Obama speaking as a mother, speaking as a visionary, speaking as someone who does social commentary, but most importantly, speaking as someone who's the first lady, but at the same time, she could just be a smart lady. She could be the lady at the bus stop. She could be the lady that double bags you at the grocery store. And the wisdom would not change. Do you hear what I'm saying? The wisdom would not change. And if I'm a politician and I see that speech, I hope, in some regards, that my competition, I'm not even saying competition, I'm going to take that back. I would hope that my constituents do not hold me or hold my feet to the fire based on that speech if I have not been doing what I needed to do. She said it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? She said it is what it is. And what it is probably one of the most damning things she could have done. But she took the words out of your mouth, Mr. Trump, Mr. Donald, Mr. 45, and she took it, she put some of your venom on it, and she gave it back to you. Politely. You had your mouth open, she put it in your mouth, and she closed it and allowed you to chew. And when you wake up this morning and you go to sleep tonight, it's going to burn. It's going to burn. If your only retort is that she pre-recorded her message, and the only way you know she pre-recorded her message, she said that the deaths were over 150-some thousand. Guess what, dummy? They're over 150-some thousand. Moving towards 180. You should have shut up. She gave you an out. But no, it is what it is. And let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. When somebody tells you it is what it is, that's exactly what it ain't. It's not a reality that you can deal with, but people hope that through fatigue and intimidation that you're going to bow down and accept the weirdest and the lowest status quo. Well, you know what? All you parents, all you teachers, all you frontline workers, when you get home today and you take off your PPE and you close up your lesson plan books and you take off your clothes and you stretch out in the middle of your bed and you look up in the ceiling, make sure that you play that speech, because no one's going to tell it to you like that. Some of you may have forgot. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Sister Ike. I'm doing all right. Some of you may have forgot that woman was a lawyer. She's a lawyer. Let me tell you how lawyers work. You present your position, you state your case, and then you present your case to the jury or whoever. She allowed us to look into the case of the Donald Trump presidency, the case of the GOP, and in many ways, the case of how the Democratic National Committee has done things. She allowed you to look at the cases. And what she said applied across the board. President, VP, Senate, Congress, Supreme Court, all the way across to just the people who need to get their ballots and go vote. Everybody was held accountable. And here's the deal. When people are generous enough to let you know that you're going to be held accountable, you should take it as you're going to be held accountable. Meaning that it's a gentle reminder. It's a soft push. But I'm happy last night, it wasn't a soft push. It was a straight up shove. Because these are the times that we're in right now. This whole idea of American exceptionalism, that whatever it is, we're going to get through it because we're Americans, it's not working. The economy is not working on American exceptionalism. People are not getting healed from COVID on American exceptionalism. Heart attacks, kidney disease, strokes. People are not getting well on American exceptionalism. You can't lie to people as a pretense to continue lying to people. At some point in time, in the game, in the street, they said, we're going to pull your skirt. That's what dudes say to dudes. We're going to pull your skirt. So a tough guy, just the idea that we're going to pull your skirt lets you know you ain't even a tough guy. You wearing a dress. And sadly, you probably the last one. When they pull your skirt, that's just to remind them, dude, you got on a dress. So let me say the unraveling, the takedown of last night was masterful. When I say masterful, it's masterful in a way where it reaches to the heart and it works on the diseases in your heart. Meaning there's something that happens morally, but something that connects spiritually. Last night's speech wasn't a speech, brothers and sisters. Let me say this. Some of y'all can relate to this. Last night's speech was not a speech. Last night's speech was a hymn. HYM. A hymn in the way of the upper room. A hymn in the way of what a friend we have in Jesus. A hymn in the way of amazing grace. A hymn in the way of do not pass me by. A hymn in the way of he saw the best of me. We fall down, but we get up. It was in that space that you can take this thing and you could put it on a vocal arrangement and it was played the same way. You got a hymn last night. And when you woke up this morning, brothers and sisters, your heart sang a little bit. My heart sang a little bit. Because I felt like for a long time that hope, if you will, hope will be at the beginning of, inshallah, hope will be at the beginning of why I vote. Hope will be in the beginning of why I help my brothers and sisters. Oh, let me give a shout out. This is my mom. This is my sister, Sister Eleanor. Hey, we love you. I see. I got you on the show. There you go. And I hope to see y'all soon. And people like Miss Eleanor they hope addicts. Now, when I say addicts, it means they're addicted to hope, meaning that it's not a bad thing. It's not an addiction. It's just that they lead with a level of positivity. And what you saw last night, in terms of the speech, of all the speeches you saw, Bernie Sanders, Andrew Cuomo, all these other people, it couldn't nail it. They couldn't nail it. Because they didn't understand that the headline of that night was going to give us a beautiful hymn. A beautiful hymn. And everybody knows hymns, brothers and sisters, take you back. We're talking churches with no central air. In summertime, we burn up, you got to open the windows. Y'all know how bad you can burn up when the sun comes through stained glass, but you're held in. You know why? And you sang a little longer. Even though you're hotter, you sang a little longer, and even if you were sweaty, but you know what? The reward of understanding and singing that hymn it made everything else second nature. It made everything else trivial. And so as we begin to wrap up, what you saw last night was a hymn. Why do I keep saying hymns? Because hymns, brothers and sisters, are not meant to be sung alone. A hymn is a part of something that a group, a choir, a group of folks sing together. And while she was the maestro on so many other levels, it's clear that she was inspired. She wasn't inspired by her husband. She wasn't inspired by the president. She wasn't even inspired by the times. There is something second nature and even more so bigger than life, that as we understand it, that drove that woman to make that speech. You have people who don't like her, who were touched by her. You have folks who are at the ready to tear her apart, but in their heart, they've been touched. You have people who thought maybe she was inarticulate, or they didn't like her features or her black skin. They didn't like her black mentality, her black intelligence. And maybe this time they didn't fear that lady because it touched their hearts. And this election is not voting Donald Trump or voting Joe Biden. It's voting your heart. It's voting what you see and what registers in your heart. And that's the way, not only do you deal with election, but that's the way you live your life. So in this election cycle, you're going to vote the way you live your life. And that's what she said. Voting is one aspect. She talked about the whole aspect of quality of life. We can't overlook it. You hear what I'm saying? We can't overlook it. So as I close out, brothers and sisters, I want us to appreciate what we saw last night. If you have girls, show your girls. Show your babies. If you have boys, show your boys. Show your boys. That's what a strong woman, I'm not going to say black woman, I'm going to say a strong, spiritual, engaged, conscious woman looks like. And tell your girls that's what they look like. That's what we aspire to be as young girls in hell. That's what we aspire to be as adult women in hell. That's what we aspire to be as young black men and adult black men and men, period. You can't overlook when a woman steps out in the light and she gives you a beautiful song, a song worth singing over and over. A song, if you will walk down the street and sing it, people will come out of their houses and sing that same song. And it's about life, it's about love, and it's about compassion. That's it for me, everybody. Before you go, you watch that speech, and whatever happens between now and November, or now and next year, appreciate the hymn that was shared with you. Take care of yourself, everybody. Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your Shout Out Show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next Shout Out Show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarifa Tar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out tarifatar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.